Alright, so we're going to see now if we've got things finally fixed so that we can go ahead and stream our retro systems up. Before we get this game started, I am actually going to get on here and check YouTube real quick. I've got Bunny and Thor here with me because this was momentous. It has been months since we've been able to do this. So, I'm not seeing anything pop up just yet. Sometimes it does take a minute, sometimes it does take a minute. I'm going to go ahead and leave this up for now. Let's go ahead and start playing the game and see where it goes. So I threw Pac-Land in here, but if this does work out well, I have Psychic World. We need to do our monthly playthrough. And then because it is October, Basketball Nightmare as well. I don't know why, I'm like holding them in front of the microphone instead of in front of the camera. But anyway, let's test this thing out with a little bit of Pac-Land. And see where that goes. This is definitely not my favorite Pac-Man game, but I feel like it's one that people don't really recognize enough. This Pac-Man is the best. So we've got Blocktown, Pac-Man's Park, Sandbox Land, and Jungle Steps, which we can't get to. You have to beat the other ones first, so we're just going to go ahead and start with Blocktown. Because it's the easiest, and we're going to do bad. We're going to Pac-Man's World. Let's have fun with Pac-Man. Much like our Ninja Hanamaru, we have Pac-Man in the World of Lakers. This is cool because it's, a traditional Pac-Man maze game, but you can jump. And if you think that makes it too easy, you are wrong. There's way more ghosts, as you can see, or monsters, depending on how you like to refer to them. Well, Autistic Gamer is here. Stopping by saying hi. Hey, how's my stream doing? Can you hear me? Is everything looking good? Just trying to make sure everything's going. Give me that feedback, man. I'd really appreciate it. Oh no. Oh, there we go. Jumping over some ghosts. And this Pac-Man is absolutely my favorite Pac-Man. I think it's most people's favorite Pac-Man. But Pac-Mania, I'll say it like Ms. Pac-Man is like the Cadillac of the Pac-Man franchise, but Pac-Mania is sort of the El Camino. I feel like it's not really appreciated enough as it should be. Okay, I can hear you and everything looks good. That is fantastic. We can start streaming. I don't even know what I did, man. I was just on the laptop after work playing around with settings, and it started working again. I have no idea what I did. But you know what? It's okay. Everything's looking good. That's what's important. I've later on in this game, you actually get a ghost that can also jump, and he'll jump whenever you do, and that switches it off. Like, you would think Pac-Man being able to jump would make the game easier, but I swear I do worse at this than any other Pac-Man game. I really need to get a Ms. Pac-Man for the Master System. I've got it on the Genesis. I think that's about the best version out there. So I love this stage because it's the original Pac-Man maze, but done in a sort of 2.5D style. I think it's really cool, the way they were able to integrate that into the game. But yeah, that Ms. Pac-Man, I've got it on like every system I have but the Master System. And, it's pretty much the same, but there's something about the Genesis version just plays right, especially if you can get a friend and do the co-op mode. Oh, that is so much fun. That is one of the best times you're gonna have. Should have jumped over that guy. Game over. It's alright. See how terrible I do? Oh, I can put my initials in. Let's see, F. We are exciting this morning, putting our initials into games. First place. Apparently this game has really low standards. It's like the standards I had for that horse racing game. Let's go again. Let's start on the next level. We'll go ahead and start here at Pac-Man's Park. It's actually a really appropriate name for this level. It is the original maze. Oh man, I love Pac-Man. It's exciting, but it's laid back. You don't really get that in a whole lot of games. It'll get your blood pumping, but it also you can sit back and play and kind of relax to it. That's a rarity in a lot of games. Penguin Land is kind of like that as well. Looks like my controller didn't want to work quite right for me there. I'm not blaming the controls, that's more of a me issue. Yes, I am playing this on the Master System. I hooked everything up to the Master System this morning because my Master System is plugged into the front ports on my DVD recorder, and I didn't want to mess with hooking everything up in the back where my Nintendo and Super Nintendo were. I'm trying to play around this to make sure the stream would work. I plugged everything up for fun, which I usually switch out between my Master System and my Genesis. And this is definitely a good port of this. The PlayStation 1 Namco Museum Collections, each disc had a Pac-Man game, and I think 4 or 5. One of the harder ones to find is the one that had Pac-Mania on it, and that was a really good transition for that. That played really smoothly, but so does this. It's also, of course, on the NES, which it's not a game you hear too many people talk about on any system, but especially, you hear like rare NES games or that nobody heard of. It's not really a rare game, but nobody heard of. I remember renting this. We had a place called Worldwide Video down in Milwaukee for a while, which is oddly enough a military recruitment center now. Me and my friend Jeff would used to go and we'd rent Pac-Mania. Godzilla 2 was surprisingly the one we used to rent all the time. And then American Gladiators was another one. And the last one was Double Dragon 3 was another one we would rent a lot. We was trying to get games we could play together. But it seemed like Pac-Mania, Double Dragon 3, and American Gladiators were sort of our go-tos. Good job! Thanks, game. I appreciate that. This guy, we were watching movies the other night. I didn't know he would do this. He would like run up and steal popcorn from me, and like I'm sharing the popcorn with Thor, and I was just like freaking out. And then I'm on Google, like, can rabbits eat popcorn? Turns out they can. But I put dill on the popcorn because I like to do that. Thor likes that. So it was like, can rabbits eat dill? And oh man, you want to talk about freaking out about stuff. I need to play more Master System games on my channel. I've only ever played before Sonic and Sonic 2. Looking forward to playing more games on the system. Yeah, Sonic and Sonic 2, I really don't like Sonic 2 on the Master System. Just sort of a personal preference. Sonic 1 is a lot of fun. Of course, the Bridge Zone level is known for being sampled by Janet Jackson. And, but Sonic Chaos is my absolute favorite Sonic game. I should do that because I can tear through that in about 20 minutes. I just might go grab that after I do Psychic World. Psychic World and Sonic Chaos are two games I play about once a month. The Sonic Chaos, I like playing it as Tails, but I've played the game enough. I'll usually like run through it once as Tails and once as Sonic. I have a bootleg copy of the sequel, Sonic Triple Trouble. I've not spent much time playing that. That's one where I got burned. The guy told me it was an original copy, and then something seemed like I bought it. I made him an offer on eBay for like $60, I think, 60 or 70 bucks, and he accepted it. I thought, man, this game usually goes for hundreds. Something's up with this. And then I started really looking at the pictures of the game, and I was like, these don't look right. I think I bought a bootleg, and if I'd been paying more attention, I would have caught it. I was like, well, you never know with the pictures. Could be like stock pictures. And then the game shows up, and the case was the worst bootleg case I'd ever seen. Everything's blurry. It's actually, instead of it being the Brazilian Master System case, the pictures are taken from the Brazilian Master System case, but then like the spine is like the American Game Gear version. Or it has, I'm sorry, that was the other way around. It has the blue label that says Master System, but then the actual picture stuff is taken from the US Game Gear version, right down to the rating. It actually has the rating for the game is in Portuguese, and it's not the North American rating. And all the pictures are blurry, and I looked at the label on the cartridge isn't right. So I was like, well, who knows what game's on this cart, and I put it in, and it turned out to be Sonic Triple Trouble. So I'm like, If he had told me it was like a reproduction and I'd paid like $50 or less for it, it would have been cool. But he was trying to pass it off as like an authentic Brazilian copy of this game that can go for hundreds of dollars, and I'm thinking I'm getting a good deal on it, and I'm not. That was probably 4 years ago, and I'm still burned by it. Like, I just don't want to play that version of the game. We are going to go ahead and switch over to Psychic World. Kind of the main event that we're going for here right now. So Psychic World is one of my absolute favorite games on the system. I did a review for it last Christmas. That was sort of the review that kind of prevented my YouTube channel from really taking off, because it was one I really wanted to do, but I didn't. I wanted to do a good job with it, and I didn't feel like I could. And then it just got to the point where it's like, I need to either do this or not. And I'm quite happy with the way that one turned out, to be completely honest. This was sort of the closest you're going to get to a Mega Man game on the Master System. I'm going to pull this cushion up behind me, and it's hurting my back to sit like that. I'm going to go ahead and do that. But yeah, Psychic World is just awesome. You get these different psychic powers. It's definitely one of the easier games on the system, but it doesn't matter. It is just the best. The soundtrack, the graphics. It's got these goofy little cutscenes when you start up, just like Kirby's Adventure does. So, you know, it's not a game that's really taking itself too seriously, which is always nice. It seemed like in Japan you got these goofy ideas for games, and then when they bring them over to the US, they try and make them way more serious. Like Amagon is probably the best example. I always hated that game. And that's a game that seems to try and take itself so seriously when you read the manual for it and the actual translation of the game and everything. And then you look at the Japanese version, and even the name is goofy. It's called something like Let's Go Macho Man. And just you hear that title and you're like, oh, this was meant as a joke. This wasn't serious at all. And it just changes your entire perspective of the game. Like, you can almost forgive how ridiculously hard it is just because of that. Like, the whole thing's a joke. That is a game. I've told this story before. That was the very first game I ever actually rented. And I would have been 4 or 5. My parents took me to the local grocery store. It was a Hy-Vee food store in Waverly, Iowa. You know, you look at all the games. I wanted to rent one for the weekend. And I was tossing up between that, the 2 Bugs Bunny games, and then this game that nobody ever talks about anymore called Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom, which is like a first-person text adventure kind of a thing. But it looked pretty cool. I almost got one of the Bugs Bunny games, and then for some reason that I'll never know, I decided to pick up Amagon instead at the last minute, and I couldn't even clear like the first screen of the game. There's a thing hiding up in the tree that really gets me. Then my sister tried to play it, and she could barely get through it. I could never remember the name of that game, but I could always remember the cover art. So it was back in 2012 when I moved back to Wisconsin. I saw that sitting at a half-price bookstore. It's like, holy crap, this is that game from my childhood that I hated so much. Like, it ruined my weekend. You know, I rented that, and that was it. My weekend was pretty much shot. I was like, I'm picking this up. I'm gonna beat this now. Like, I'm so much better at these things. Spent a couple hours playing it, and then decided, nope, it's not worth it. It's too bad of a game. That's one that I probably should give another go to at some point. It's one that you got to go into with the attitude of, I'm not taking this seriously. I think that might be the idea. And then if I get my ass handed to me, it's no big deal. This is one of those games where you've got like 2 speeds. You're either going turbo fast or crazy slow. And I like this. This is something I meant to mention in my review that I left out. But they put this little ledge here that prevents you from falling down there and dying. They could have easily made the cheapest death in video game history with that. And they chose not to. Like I said, the game's easy, but it never really feels like it's holding your hand. You know, you're going to get through this. You can no-death run this, no problem, especially when you get the power-up. You know, lets you restart a level. But it doesn't matter. It's maybe easy, but it makes me feel like I'm a badass player. soundtrack is on point. It's just absolutely one of the best games on the system. First level boss is a chimera, and it's so, like, the design of the bosses, it's got a good size. I love this boss though. Like, if you stand in the right place, it will never hit you. But right here, you just spam that button. You got this. Journey to Silius is kind of like that too, though. You stand in the right spot, you can just cream through that game. I used to be able to do that, not anymore. That's another game that has like a rocket soundtrack to it as well. Got the volcano area is the second stage of this game. That's the thing, it doesn't really do anything different. You know, we did the plains, this is a volcano, then there's an ice stage. It's all stuff you've seen in other games, but it really incorporates it really well. This did appear on the MSX computer, and I heard the levels were way bigger in that version. I need to find a way to emulate those. I want to play the original version of this game. That's the one thing I will say, is it always just felt too short. And I mentioned it in my review of the game that I did last year, that the game's creator said he didn't like the Master System version because he thought it was sort of a butchered down version of it. And that everything felt too short to him, like they had to cut the levels down. And I've recently been playing the Game Gear version on my handheld emulator. It's called an Odroid. And that kind of is the same thing. Like, I can't believe how small the levels are. Like, if they made them smaller in this game, and they're decent enough size, they're tiny in the Game Gear version. It's just a couple of, like, screens and you're done. Like, they're really generous with giving you the Green Party VSP meter. You can just spam your powers a lot in this game, which adds to that. Like, I'm using this invincibility power up. It's no thing. Game doesn't care. And you could do like a no invincibility run if you really wanted to make it difficult on yourself. You want to up that up a bit. Not doing that today. I'm just trying to relax and unwind after work. Right now we've got that. We've got the wind power up, and we've got that one's right. Oh, that's the bomb. Clears everything. I usually use this default one the most. Each one cannot be upgraded to 3 shots. If I can get down this ladder, if I position myself just right. Here we go. I love the volcano stage, and some of these jumps here they're a lot of fun. There's one spot where you're like on this long boat bridge that's collapsing. I don't really need the health power up. We're going to go ahead and do this. I do like how if you use something like the invincibility, you know, you can still get pushed around. They just can't hurt you. That's kind of a neat way of going about that. They can still push you into some like pits or something. Some of it kind of reminds me of some of the areas in Metroid. Oh boy. I think we've just upgraded our wing shot. Nope. You get certain bosses that can't be damaged by some powers, but can be damaged by others. Ooh, we better do this way. There's some help. Just gonna run through this. I'm not even gonna bother with that. Oh no, there we go. Oh, it almost didn't make it. One of our mini bosses. We don't have to fight this guy. I mean, if you want, you could just push by him and go through that door, but I like fighting them. No bonuses if they drop. Can't talk bonuses. You know, I only lived in North Carolina for about 5 years, but even now, having been back in Wisconsin for so long, I still get that southern drawl in some of my like words and phrases. It's so funny. I'll say something and somebody's like, "Man, you sound like you're from the South," and it's like, I lived there for a while. And you adapt that accent, but you would think, you know, all these years back in the Midwest, that would be gone. But I guess not. Alright. Yeah. This is good though. I'm glad I got the stream working again, because I was wondering how I was going to do Solstice on the Solstice this year. I mean, I got to start planning for that already. It'll be here before you know it. Oh no! Oh, wanted that, but that's alright. Go. Oh, that's my own stupid fault. I should have been paying attention to that. So to activate your powers in this game, they really did a good thing, since you only got the 2 buttons on the controller. And Ghouls and Ghosts has a power system like this on the Master System as well. If you want to activate the powers, you have to get up and actually hit pause and select the magic spell you want. Here you hold down your jump button, push down on the controller, and then you can select what you want. And I think they did a really good job with that. Here comes that collapsing bridge that I love so much. Time this just right and fly through this part like it's nothing, but it's one of those things, the first time you play this game, you see this and you're just like, oh crap. There's a stage at the end of the game, it's like that too, where you gotta fly around. So you don't want to touch these things. They will drain your life. So like in an area like this, you really are gonna end up spamming the that invincibility power up. Same with on this boss, he's gonna shoot those things out, just don't hit him in the head. He's going to shoot those things out. We're going to try and climb up them. And just bomb the crap out of his head. We're going to need to constantly spam this power up in order to do it. Again, you don't need to do it. There are other ways around it. There we go. Oh, yeah. This is one of those bosses that I can have a lot of trouble with sometimes, just because I won't be in the right spot to hit his pattern just right, like this one. I'm actually doing a lot better than I normally would with this guy. Well, he really wants to use this one. I don't know if it's like activated by where you're standing or what. You'd think for somebody who plays this game as much as I do, I would have things like that memorized. I do not. Not that type of gamer. I don't want to have to memorize it. When I was in elementary school, 4th through 8th grade, I was going to watch that play out. At the private school, we had memory classes, and they said it was to help you develop good memorization skills. Considering it was a private school and all you were ever doing, you had to like memorize passages from the Bible and stuff. Yeah, I don't think that's what was actually going on. Oh, I messed that up. And then they had, they gave us like Luther's Small Catechism. Okay, this is cool. So you get these areas where it's a little bit darker. You take the wind power and you use your wind to freeze them, and you can step on them. If you put them in the wrong spot, you can use a fire shot to melt them back down. Anyway, we'd have to get like Luther's Small Catechism, and it would have like, we'd have to memorize things like the 10 Commandments, which seems pretty standard, but then they'd have a meaning for it. And it was like, why is there a meaning? Like, this is so dumb. And some of them were like, you know, thou shalt not kill, and then it would have this like 3-paragraph explanation about what that means. It's like, this is the dumbest thing ever. Like, all about it means don't like go around murdering people. But you know, they'd have stuff like that, or like the Apostles' Creed and the meaning for the different areas of that. And it just always struck me as weird that was in there. And I was like, if this was really supposed to be a lesson and not just trying to memorize things, wouldn't they have you like trying to like maybe come up with your own like your own meaning for it or something? Oh, I could have gotten that. Oh well. And I remember one time one of our teachers was like, I'm going to let you guys pick out what verses you want to do, but then you have to explain why you picked that verse out. And you know, half those little shitbags, man. They picked Jesus wept. They picked it because it was the shortest one and everybody knew it. And of course the teacher knew that's why they picked it, but you know, they come up with some half-assed explanation as to why that was the verse they picked, and you know, it flew over. And it's like, no, we all know why they picked that one. It's the shortest verse in the entire book. I was actually by that school. I was down filming my Halloween video. I had taken a drive through my old neighborhood, one of my old neighborhoods, and decided to drive past that school for whatever reason. Let's just nuke these guys. I'm not playing their game today. So we can just go up there, but I'm going to try and get this stuff. So I could go up that, go up this ladder, but I screwed myself out of that one, and I don't feel like restarting the level, so we're not going that route, which was dumb because that's like a way easier route. Going this way, I've got to go through making my own platforms and all this fun stuff. Versus if I had gone up that ladder, I could just go up that other side and it wouldn't be anything. You just go up there and go up the door. Here I gotta build my own platforms. This is one of those areas that when I first started playing this game actually gave me a lot of trouble, and it's so ridiculously easy that I can't believe it ever gave me any trouble. Ooh. There we go. Away. I want to fall down. Not at this point. Hoping to stream more of the horse games this past weekend, but did not happen. I'm surprised by how many people want me to stream more of that. How overwhelmingly positive reactions to it were. Get down here. Nope, wrong one. There we go. Always push up by that door. I've got like no more ESP powers. I did not realize. Wow. So this guy is an ice monster. He is obviously weak to fire. It's just the mini boss here. I love the boss of this level. It looks like Gigan from Godzilla, which also means he looks like that dragon from the Wonder Boy games. I might actually die here. If I die, I am probably just going to stop. There we go. That's nice. I guess the game is quite generous with those power-ups, but don't take it for granted. If you're not paying attention, you're not using them. But this is such an easy game, and it is one of those, like, if you do die, you will feel bad, like, I can't believe I got a game over here. And you'll probably want to just stop playing for a bit. Which is how I would probably go about it. I was kind of the same way with Skyrim when I first started playing that. It was, my character died, I'd just make a new character, and it didn't bother me. It just felt like the right way to play that type of a game. Oh crap. So, now that that happened, I don't know what I'm going with. This is not right. Yeah. Those are not going to go away. So I don't know what I'm thinking. I might have to restart the level. If I had multiple shots for this, should not be a big thing. Should be able to jump up and do it this way. Wow. So what you would do is you would pick this thing, get yourself out of that, but then you are restarting the level. There are certain areas when you get towards the end of the game where that is, like, if you don't do it just right, you're going to have to do that. I did not want to restart. I didn't think I'd actually be streaming today either. I'm glad I got this figured out. I do have plans to record more for the Family Quickie series. That's not too difficult of a thing that was kind of done, so, you know, my in-between game raids, just that's become my, hey, I'm going to beat this game franchise sort of a thing, where I try to get as much information out of the game as I can. With the Family Quickie, I want them all to be under 5 minutes. Just a real quick, here's what this game is, do I initially like it or not? So I have like all my Famicom and Super Famicom games now kind of sitting on the floor in front of me here, so that I can mess with them. Usually for that I just kind of play the first level. I try and play a lot of it, as much of the game as I can on my own, but when it comes time to record it I'm just like playing the first level. So I figured I'd try and pick out like 10 games, but then there's stuff like, even though the game rate has mostly been Master System stuff, there's some like Kamen Rider on the Super Famicom. I really want to do an episode for, I really want to do an episode for Kamen Rider in general, just because I'm such a huge fan of the franchise. And the game I absolutely hate the most is a Kamen Rider game. I'm kind of trying to decide if I want to do that as a Family Quickie over 2 of those, or if I want to make that as one episode of Game Raid. We'll see. If you want some good Famicom game stuff, Ultra Healthy Video Game Nerd, he's actually living in Japan for work right now. He's doing a lot of videos, and he has a better grasp of the language than what I recall from almost 20 years ago now. So he's really able to get into some of these games. He got really famous. How I even found him. He found like the only known physical copy of Hong Kong 97. That's pretty cool stuff. He's got great videos on that. Just all of his content overall. There's a lot of Famicom games. They're fantastic. It's kind of funny I watch him. He reminds me so much of myself, and then he's oh wow, I just totally lost my train of thought. Trying to fight this guy, and it's really not too difficult. He had some pictures on his Facebook of his game stuff, and his PS2 is bright pink. There was a pink PS2 released in Japan. That was the model I had, and then got stolen. And it just made me laugh. He also had the pink model. Like, wow, man, this guy really is like a long-lost brother for me or something. Nope, I die. You have unlimited continues, but you have to pick continue right from the start. However, I am calling it because it is 8 o'clock. I am tired. I am going to get some sleep. Been kind of crashing out on the couch back here lately because the sun can't really affect me in this back room. Clearly I can stream my retro consoles again, so I need to start, doing that again. Thank you to Autistic Gamer 89 for stopping by, and anybody else who sees this in the future. From me, and Thor over here, and Bunny, thank you. You just licking Bunny's ear, you goofball, trying to get to me. Thank you again, and we will see you next time.